Bitcoin has just done something for the first time in 1,600 days. But what happens next could surprise everybody. Welcome in. My name is Steve, founder and CEO of CryptoCrewUniversity.com. You can go to CryptoCrewUniversity.com to get a free course right now. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Brand new videos every single Wednesday. Today we have a jam-packed video that if you hold Bitcoin, you cannot miss this video. What I'm going to share with you in this chart in front of you, in this chart right here, is going to blow your mind. We also have an incredible setup happening in Ethereum, and then I have a surprise chart for you at the end. So if you're new here, this is where we discuss the next major moves in Bitcoin and crypto markets. This is going to be your new favorite channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Join our incredible community, and everybody hit that thumbs up button. Let's jump straight into it, starting with this candle in this chart right here. This is a 2-month chart. This probably looks familiar to you. This candle is a dragonfly doji candle. Now, going back for a second to the top of 14K, you remember how emotional that top of 14K was. We were blessed and fortunate to call the top there and say that a major downturn is coming. Again, we talk about the major moves happening in this channel, and for the next 10 months it was pretty ugly. And then we printed this candle. So over 6 months ago, we made this video and talked all about this candle because there was a major trend here, and we said, look, this is a dragonfly doji. By definition, it's found at the bottoms of downtrends and signals a major trend reversal to the upside. So what happened after that was pretty nice. We saw a very nice rally off these lows. It signaled, this candle did signal the end of that 10-month downturn, and for the next 6 months plus, we've been pretty good. Now, what I'm going to share with you today is substantially bigger than this, okay? So what I'm going to start with is this chart. Now, I am willing to bet you haven't seen too much of this chart. I always try to show you some brand new things from a new angle. And what I'm going to tell you about this chart, you definitely haven't heard before. It's very fascinating. We're going to dive deep into this study. And we're going to cover 6 factors in this chart. And again, we're going to answer your deepest questions. Your deepest questions right now are, okay, Steve, we rallied up to that 14K, but are we going to break through then? And when are we going to break through there? And when are we going to reach an all-time high? And is it possible to still buy back Bitcoin if we drop to 12K or 10K? Are those completely off the table, or is there still a chance? All of those questions will be answered inside of this video. Now, and further, all of those questions can be answered with this chart and then the secret chart at the end. Take a look at this chart. This is really mind-blowing. What we have here is a price channel. First of all, what we have is a line chart, right? What we have is a line chart, and we're breaking down the entire history of Bitcoin. Now, don't get carried away. We're just going to look at these 2 first, and then we're going to talk about what's happening here. But you have to understand how these price channels are put together, because it's the secret sauce to answering every single question you have about Bitcoin. Now, look at what happened when we ran up here. You can see that we had some resistance in May 2011, and then when we rallied up to our new all-time high and we ultimately had our biggest top in Bitcoin history, we screamed down here and caught some resistance, and then came back and caught some support, and then followed it up with resistance. Voila, there's your price channel. Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. This created our price channel that held true. Several years later, we still had resistance from here, and even years after that, we held resistance from the top and support at the bottom. That same theory can be applied to every single time we had a market top. If you fast forward to this market top in 2013, same thing. We dropped in price substantially, down to here, catching support. We came back down here, catching support, held up here with resistance, came back down, support, and then held outside as resistance, resistance, and then years later, the same price channel held true, finally breaking up, holding resistance, and coming back down. Why is that important? Look at today. Look at today. It's the same exact thing. We had our high, right? We had the market high, that 20K-ish. We came back down and we formed our price channel. We came down to support. We bounced up. We came back down to resistance and resistance again. Years later, resistance again, and years later, resistance again. It's the same exact thing. This chart holds all of the answers. It's very fascinating. When you pop on a line chart, you put this exact theory into here, and then you look at these 6 specifics that I'm about to break down for you. It's incredible. I know you're getting excited. I'm excited to share this with you because we in this channel keep things incredibly simple. We look for brand new charts to make you say, wow, and then these charts answer your biggest question. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the movement. Now, we looked at the overview of how is this price channel created, how are they relatively similar. Now we're going to take another dive deeper. So first time in 1600 days. Well, what's the first time in 1600 days? Well, look at where we're at today. It's a pretty fascinating time because we're inside this price channel again. We haven't been here in a while, and we haven't rallied up to this point since here. We haven't had this market structure since here. So if we take a measured move here, we are at 1600 days. It's the first time in 1600 days that we have this structure where it's very apparent that very soon we will reach an all-time high. With this structure, it's very apparent. The question is when. It's very probable that in Bitcoin's near future, we will have an all-time high. Just based on the facts, not our emotional opinion. I'm not saying it's tomorrow or the next day. In this channel, we look at the big picture to find the next major move, but we will break down exactly when we anticipate this to happen. But more importantly, what could happen next could shock a lot of people, and we're going to get into that as well. So what I want you to understand is, so we've dug into this chart from a few angles, but now let's look at another one that's pretty eye-opening. We created this channel not by chance. We created it by market structure. It's the exact market structure of our line chart. By the way, our line chart is based on the closing price, which is what I highly recommend you do, okay? What we're doing here is we created this price channel based on the market structure, and this holds true for years as support and resistance. It dictates every major market move in Bitcoin for the next several years to come. It's done it time and time again, and it's doing it now. It's done it for the past several years of Bitcoin. It did it way back here, and it did it here. This is the chart I want you to draw at home. Now, to put it into further context, we're going to take a measured move from the bottom of our price channel to understand, okay, because from this angle, it looks like we dropped in price here, but not too bad. It looks like we dropped a little bit worse here in price from the bottom of our price channel, and it looks like our low here is pretty substantially lower than all of them. And we want to understand how much should we pay attention to this price channel? How accurate is it? Well, let's take just a measured move from the bottom of this price channel to our low, and we're talking about 74%, meaning from the bottom of this price channel, we dropped another 74% to create our ultimate low. How about this price channel? Because this price channel is drastically different. We have what most appear to be a different market structure, and this is 73%. This was 74%. This was 73%. Again, this price channel is based on this market structure, not this one. This market structure. And to the T, they are accurate. How about this one here? We'll do a quick measured move from the bottom of that price channel to this one, 75. So what did we have? 73, 74, 75. It's mind-blowing how when you keep the charts simple, you look step by step, you can see patterns, you can see repeating fractals time and time again, no matter the year, no matter the time frame. Again, just looking at the big picture, we come down, boom, resistance, we break up. Come down, boom, resistance, resistance, we break up. Come down here, boom, resistance, 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 we break up. We are in this part of our move. We are in this part of our move where things start to get pretty exciting. But we do have something that's about to happen that will take everybody by storm. It'll make them second guess a lot of things that are happening. But now that you've watched this video, you're going to know these next 3 items and exactly what to do during this situation. So we're going to talk about what happens next. What's Bitcoin's next major move? We're going to talk about next, is 10K in play? Is 12K in play? And then we're going to talk about the most important question, which is the secret chart that we're going to get to at the end. When is the all-time high? This chart will tell us all of those questions. But I want to get into Ethereum. I want to take a quick pause and get into Ethereum because Ethereum has a very interesting setup. Whether you love Ethereum like me or you hate it, you need to be interested in very powerful setups, because on this channel, we don't talk about little price movements. We talk about major price movements, and that's what we're going to get into with Ethereum. Just looking at Ethereum's market structure, okay? We're just zooming out and we're looking at all the history on this chart, right? We went on a pretty massive tear that it's very rare on planet Earth for anything to grow this quickly, this fast, right? This is not sustainable, okay? So we had a nice pullback, but when we did, we've created over the past few years a beautiful market structure with this red circle here creating our low in Ethereum way back in December 2018. Then we created a high up to this white line, which we'll get to in a minute. Then what I love is we created a higher low, right? This was a higher low. It's a beautiful higher low, and right after our higher low, what you want to see as a trader, what you want to see as an investor is a follow-through move, and that's a confirmation of a higher high. If you get that, then you're technically in a very powerful uptrend. No matter the time frame, this happens to be the weekly, so it's very substantial. This is a very powerful uptrend that Ethereum is in, with higher lows and higher highs. Now let's get to the white line, because we understand, okay, Ethereum is in a major uptrend coming off of a very beautiful and healthy correction because we grew too quickly, too fast. All of these things are phenomenal, but what's more important is this line right here, $350. Whether you like Ethereum, you hate Ethereum, 350 is what you have to remember about this video with Ethereum. Why? Look left. Look left and you see, oh, we held it as resistance in June 2019. Oh, we've recently held it as support. Oh, if we continue to look left, we held it as key resistance in March of 2018, March and April of 2018. Oh, if we continue to even look further left, we held it as it's been a significant level for 3.5 years. This is the most significant level in Ethereum, one could argue, right? One could easily argue that. Boom, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support. You see where we're at here. Not only are we in a powerful uptrend, Ethereum is holding this critical line of 350. This is pretty major. And let me tell you the reason. Let's take a look at this. We've got the RSI here. The RSI, since 2018, since Christmas time 2018, we've been continuously creating higher lows. Beautiful thing. At the same time as higher highs. We are in a beautiful uptrend also in the RSI, and we're following this trend line. You know, there is a possibility Ethereum comes back over the next, I would call it about 6-ish months and retest this at some point. Don't panic. What we have in the stochastic RSI is we did have a a nice cross up, but it wasn't confirmed. Again, with the stochastic RSI, you simply want to see it get above 20 to confirm the trend. We did not do that with our orange line. You see our orange line stayed behind, and we are in a waiting period to see how this plays out. So our momentum is low, our trend strength is high, our trend strength with the RSI is high, and we understand as traders, now that you watch my channel and you watched our videos, you understand risk and reward, you understand support and resistance, you understand these key levels, especially if you're a student, you're on another level, and financial freedom is definitely within your grasp if you're my student. But even if you just watch our YouTube videos, you are learning every single video, and this is screaming. This setup is screaming that if Ethereum stays above 350, we're going to see a pretty large move to the upside. It's not going to be a little move from 350 to 400. It's not going to be a little move like that, although that is a pretty substantial move in and of itself. It's going to be pretty major. With this type of market structure, with this type of trend happening here, if we stay above 350, it's going to be a beautiful rally, in my estimation, up into these areas of around 550, 600, and potentially even 700, in the relatively near future over the next, 6 to 8 months. I would definitely look for those prices to be met. This could be a video that we look at in a couple years from now, and we say, hey, that 350 level, that was really the one to pick up some Ethereum. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor, but look, if you just look at market structure and you understand risk and reward, you don't have a ton of risk to the downside. If we go through 350 and even to these levels here, the probability is we're going to head lower. So you cut your ties here. You're risking not a lot to make. It's a nice risk and reward ratio. Again, I'm not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but I wanted to show you this setup because it's really good for you to learn these types of setups and how powerful trends are. You can see how clean we keep the charts. Again, hit that subscribe button, join the movement. We need to get back into our chart, and we've got to cover these 3 things because that's the main keys of why you're here and what you need to know. But again, you're also here because this is a game, and you've probably been in this crypto game for a while. You probably haven't had the results you want. I help people just like you turn it around, learn these fundamental skills, apply them, and see success. So go over to our website right now. Pause this video before we get into the juicy stuff. Go over to our website and go to the courses and scoop up the gold bundle. This is definitely what is going to separate you from the herd and put you on the right track. And we also have a free course. You can go to the homepage and get the free course. If you have questions about either the gold bundle or how to get the free course, just contact me right here. CryptoCrudeUniversity.com. Link is down below. Let's get to the chart. So we covered the first 3 items. We painted a very clear picture that this green price channel is the place to be. It takes a very long time to get there, and when we do, it signals that an all-time high is in the near future. But I think the first question we have to tackle is right at the beginning. I said Bitcoin has just done something. It hasn't done in 1,600 days. But what happens next could take everybody by surprise. Now, what do I mean by that? Once we dig in here and we say to ourselves, okay, these price channels, this is the golden nugget. Okay, I understand this is based on market structure, support and resistance. It's incredible. But what happened when we first reached this price channel? And when we first reached inside of this price channel, the first thing Bitcoin did was scream right to the top. That's also what we did back in 2016. We finally got into this price channel. The first thing we did was scream right to the top, really quickly, just like here, really quickly in 2012, right to the top, right? What did we do present day? Well, we finally got into this price channel. The first thing we did is scream right to the top. The problem is this top level is resistance, okay? If you watch my channel, which I'm sure you do, we've talked about over and over and over and over and over and over again in all of our videos. Once we got above 10.5K, our next level is 14K. Be prepared, it's a major level. Now I think you understand. Look at our top, look at the top here, just under 14K. This is resistance, and it's not a little bit of resistance, it's a lot. And what we've done previously when we reached this resistance is we had a nice correction. We had a nice correction. What we did back in 2012 is we had a pretty immediate correction. Actually, if we dig into the charts, these corrections usually happen pretty quickly. We screamed right to the top, and then boom, we came right back down to the bottom, holding support. And then we went back up, held resistance, and it was some time before we broke through. You can see back here in 2016, screamed right to the top, boom, resistance, we fell right to the bottom. Quickly, just like in 2012. So, this one also, we bounced off of that support, and we broke below momentarily to a different market structure. Just below here is another market structure, okay? And we'll talk about that in a second because this could be a possibility as well. But what was happening in here, a lot of people got very bullish with Bitcoin, and then when we fell apart, people got very bearish. They said, this is it, we're gonna roll back over. But you're gonna be smarter than that because you've got this chart now. So looking at that, what does it mean for Bitcoin right now? Well, these past two happen really quick. This hasn't closed yet. You can see its head is just peeking through. We still have 4 days and 15 hours before this closes. So rest assured. Now, this could fall, relatively quickly over the next handful of weeks, right to 12K. That would not be a surprise at all because that's our market structure. We could break below it momentarily to our next market structure, which is very heavy at 10K. So is 10K and 12K still in play, or are we just going to continue to plow through and go right to 20? It's likely 10 and 12 are in play, okay? But they're going to get bought up pretty quickly. So we have to rest assured, we have to be prepared for what's going to happen. Now the biggest question becomes, well, when can we reach an all-time high? Because this chart is pretty accurate on when we're going to reach an all-time high. I'm going to break it down in a second, but I just want you to stay level-headed that we could have a nice drop down to 12. We could even have a drop to 10. We could hang out there for a moment, right? And then we're going to come back into our green price channel and we're going to conquer 20K, okay? This is very probable that's what's going to happen, but it's not all going to happen tomorrow or the next day. That's why you're now subscribed with bell on so we can keep you up to date on when we see this happening. But make no mistake about it, Bitcoin is in rare territory. But now let's get to when we suspect an all-time high. This is where things get very interesting. Because back here, if we say, okay, when we touched the top channel, how many days was it until we actually created an all-time high? Well, we're going to take a look at exactly that. So we've got the top of the channel here, right? Where we plowed through, we screamed right to the top. We're going to see how many days did it take us to get above this all-time high. And we're talking about, just about 200 days. Just about 200 days for us to reach our next all-time high. It wasn't the next day, it wasn't the next week. How about if we fast forward to 2016, which these patterns repeat, these fractals repeat time and time again. If you follow my channel, then you're well aware that these repeat and repeat often. So if the last one was about 200 days, we're going to take a look at when we finally broke into the green, we screamed right to the top, how many days from there? Now you may be asking, well, Steve, why are we taking a measured move from here? Because that's exactly where we're at in this move. We just pierced through the green for the first time. We screamed right to the top. That's why we're understanding, well, how many days to an all-time high in the past? The first one was about 200, and now we're looking at this one, which is about 200 as well, 230, 240. So just about 200-ish days each time from the move we're in right now to an all-time high. Just about 200 days, okay? Now, where would that put us? Where would that put us? Now, let me back up a second. Before we get to where this would put us, we are talking about potentially having a nice, healthy pullback. I want to show you one chart to look at so you can see exactly when this pullback could potentially happen. It happens right here. Okay? I told you I had a secret chart at the end. This is going to be in your ammo. This is going to be in your toolkit. You're going to watch this one like a hawk because you know that not only are we at this resistance point here for this trend line, but when we go down here to the MVT is currently red. If you want Bitcoin to continue up, you better pray for red. You want this to continue red, because if it doesn't and it turns white, look at what happens. Boom, correction. Boom, drastic correction. Boom, pretty drastic correction. Boom, major correction. You want it to continue red like it did here through this area, and then we'll continue bullish. You do not want this to turn white. Watch the NVT. That will be your first warning sign that we could potentially be falling rather quickly to 12 or 10K, which will get bought up. People will freak out, and you won't. But now, where would this put us in the all-time high? We talked about the 20-ish days. Oh, by the way, we're going to have Steve's Secrets to Success today. So this is my favorite part of the show. It's probably your favorite part of the show, and you're probably very happy to learn that. Back here, 200-ish days, 200-ish days. So if we repeated a similar pattern, right, Bitcoin could come up here, where it is now, and we could fall back down to this support level. We could even come right down below, hang out here for a bit, come back up, and we're looking at around 200-ish days from here. Where would that put us at potentially our next all-time high? We're talking about, May, June of next year. May, June of next year. And if you say, no way, Steve, for sure we're going to get to 20K before that, I'm just talking about the facts and the charts, not my emotional opinion. Of course, I would love for us to reach 20K next week, but men lie, women lie, the charts don't lie, right? The charts don't lie. This pattern has been repeating for the entire history of Bitcoin. There is no history of Bitcoin that we entered this green area and went straight to an all-time high. It hasn't happened. But what we have done repeatedly is have a nice correction, take some time, continue as resistance at that level, which for us would be 14K, and then we break through it, and then it's off to the races. Once we break through this green channel, it's parabolic, okay? That's what we know based on the facts in the charts, not our emotional opinion. So are we going to go parabolic right now? It's not likely, but it's coming, okay? So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. We're going to jump straight into Steve's Secrets to Success. Okay, so if you guys are relatively new here, Steve's Secrets to Success is something that we do to add more value to you. If you want more success in life, we talk about the charts, we talk about your life, and how to reach those next goals, because I guarantee you want financial freedom. I guarantee you want more money, more success, and whatever those other little goals you have are, that's exactly what Steve's Secrets to Success are. Little tidbits of information that have helped me personally over the years really destroy my goals, and I want you to do the same, right? So here it is for today. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on the Twitters here. I'm sure you already did that. So hit the like button, hit the bell, and I would love for you to share this video in one place. If you did all of those things, you're awesome. Now, and get your free course. Get your free course at cryptocrewuniversity.com. And again, if you want more success in trading, we've got the best courses in the game, hands down. Nothing's close. So we turn people's trading futures all around, and get them on the right track, get them with the skill set. So go get your free course and then go sign up to get courses here. If you have any questions, you can email me directly, info@cryptocrewuniversity.com. So today's Steve's Secrets to Success is about perspective. This is a very powerful tip that you will use. This will connect deeply with you. It connected deeply with me when I read it just a little over a week ago. And I read this and I said, wow, this is so powerful. So here it is. You're going through something right now, or maybe recently, where it's very stressful. Maybe it's something at work, something in your personal life. Maybe you just lost a big trade. Maybe you missed out on a big trade, and you keep thinking and replaying this in your mind, and it's stress and it's anger, right? You've had that situation. Maybe it's as little as you misplaced your keys and you can't find your keys, and oh my God, what's going on? Something just stresses you out. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You're probably thinking about that thing right now. Here's what I want you to do going forward to help you really have some perspective of this. What I want you to do in that moment, we're so caught up in that moment, this is really terrible. I want you to think about, how would you view that exact moment 1 year into the future? Would it still be a major thing? Now, how about 5 years into the future? Would you even remember that moment? Would it have any significance on your life 5 years from now? That's called perspective. And when I heard that, I said, wow, that's such a simple thought, but yet such a powerful thought. And I want you to use that going forward, as will I. Anytime we're in that situation, we think about, wow, in a year from now, I could care less about this little thing that appears so big now. In 1 year from now, I won't even remember it. And 5 years from now, I definitely won't remember it. And that'll help you take a breath, put things in perspective, and have more success. So I hope you enjoyed that Steve's Secrets to Success. Leave a comment down below if you're happy that Steve's Secrets to Success are back. It's definitely my favorite part of the show. I hope it's yours as well. Let me know what you thought about the charts that we showed earlier. They were pretty powerful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you right back here next week, same time, same place. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace and love to the underdogs.